Eric Bieniemy came over from the Kansas City Chiefs, and Eric Bieniemy is old school here, or at least his approach with getting these guys in shape. And he admitted, look, I'm intense here. He's trying to prove himself that, hey, I'm more than just Patrick Mahomes or Andy Reid. He's going in there with a couple of rings on his hand, and he should be able to get that respect of this is how we did it in Kansas City, and this is how we're going to do it here. Here is Eric Bieniemy, the Commanders' offensive coordinator.
Yes, I am intense, and I would be afraid, too, to start if I didn't know him. Eric Bieniemy is who he is, okay? Eric Bieniemy knows how to adapt and adjust. Eric Bieniemy is a tough, hard-nosed coach, but also understand I'm going to be the biggest and harshest critic, but I'm also their number one fan because I got their back and I'm going to support them at all times.
All right. I mean, that's what coaching is. Although he did go third person, I have a problem with that. But here's Ron Rivera, the Commanders' head coach, on players being concerned about Eric Bieniemy's approach, and actually players going to the coach and saying, hey, can you go talk to him for us?
I had a number of guys come to me and I said, hey, just go talk to him. I said, understand what he's trying to get across to you, you know. And I think as they go and they talk and they listen to him, it's been enlightening for a lot of these guys. I mean, it's a whole different approach. You know, you get a different kind of player from the players back in the past, especially in light of how things are coming out of college football. So a lot of these young guys, you know, they do struggle with certain things. Eric has an approach, and it's the way he does things, and he's not going to change. And because he believes in it, Jack has his approach. You know, having been a head coach, I think Jack has a tendency to try and figure guys out a little bit more, as opposed to, hey, this is it, this is the way it's going to be, that type of stuff. Where Eric hasn't had that experience yet.
Just that when they came to you, it was just they felt like Eric was riding them too hard, or?
Well, they just were a little concerned.
You know, they're just a little concerned.
Yeah, no elaboration there.
I'm shocked that he engaged this deeply in this. It'd be like, you know what? We brought him in for a reason. This is how he coaches. Let's see how this plays out. You know, these guys got to respond to something different. And we need to respond to something different because we're at the bottom of this division. We want to be at the top, and we got a proven winner in Eric Bieniemy and his track record with Kansas City. I mean, if you're going to engage, it would be that, not, yeah, I told these guys, you know, they're kind of complaining a little bit and that they should go talk to him. Yes, Eden.
I didn't really realize it until this story came up, but Ron Rivera, Jack Del Rio, and Eric Bieniemy don't exactly scream new school thinking.
That's true.
Those are fellas who have been through it. This is the way we did it in my day, and we're going to make you tough. We're going to make you men. We're going to blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, it's not like that anymore.
Jack Del Rio is old school. Ron Rivera feels like, and he's just sort of a study hall monitor here.
Yeah.
Like, hey, just what's going on here? Man, he's being too tough on me. Well, go talk to him. Yeah. But, you know, he's been through cancer. He's been through Dan Snyder. And now you got new ownership in there. There's a lot at stake for Ron Rivera this year, it feels like. Yes, Todd?
Could you or would you have followed up when he goes, you know, they're concerned? Would you say to Ron Rivera, are you concerned that these guys are not tough enough to be able to deal with, that they have to come running to you, that he's being too hard on them?
That is a very fair question to ask. How concerned are you, Coach? Because he might go, I'm not. This is why we brought him in. At least my spin would be, I wouldn't go, man, I'd hate to be out there having him yell at me.
Yeah, now I know why he hasn't got it.
I mean, Ron Rivera played for Mike Ditka. I'm sure that he knows what it's like when some guys coach. They coach with their voice. They want you to hear them. They're in your face. They're being intense. But they want you to be better. It's weird when you know a coach doesn't want you to be better. My college coach, he did not want me to be better.
Want you to be elsewhere.
Yes. Because that's when he would yell out, by golly, Golden Boy, get out. And then he'd put me on the bench. He didn't want me to be better. He didn't say, hey, I'm being tough on you because I want you to be better. It was like, he didn't care. So not every coach wants you to be better. But in this situation, Eric Bieniemy, maybe he's trying too hard. He wants to prove himself. He wants to be a head coach one day. He got passed up many, many times, whatever those reasons are. Now he wants to say, hey, I'm out from Andy Reid's shadow, Patrick Mahomes. I want to prove that I can be a disciplinarian. I can run a team here. So it almost feels like he's auditioning to be a head coach while being the offensive coordinator with the Commanders. And he's got Sam Howell. I mean, you're talking about a second-year guy. Like, you're trying to get something out of Sam Howell. They had 8 wins. They need something. It's not like you can go, hey, we're good. You need a spark. You need somebody in your face. You need change. Yes, Todd.
Maybe the players should just keep their friends close and their enemies closer.
Okay, thank you, Todd.
And just deal with it.
Yes, Paul.
Todd.
Since the story came out, a lot of old school NFL type guys who are on air came to Bieniemy's defense saying, hey, this is about the players, not about Bieniemy. It's about the new players who aren't used to having people in their face or being yelled at. They've been coddled in college.
You imagine what's going to happen in the next 10 years, let's say. These kids who are in college who are making a couple $1 million, and then they get to the pros. Like there's players who are going to make more than the coaches who are coaching them. You know, their running backs coach or quarterbacks coach or, defensive coordinator. Drake May is making more than the quarterbacks coach, I'm guessing, at North Carolina. And then you're going to get to the NFL. Like it's a whole different. Like you're looking at, hey, you listen to me. I got you for the next 3 years at least before you're going to the NFL. Now it's just not that way. You're like, I'm on a year-to-year basis because I can get in the transfer portal. You know how much money I make? This is going to happen. This is going to be an issue. That you got these players who have made money, like Caleb Williams, when he goes to the NFL. Well, if you're making $5, $6, $7, $8 million, and then you're going into the NFL, like you're used to being like, this is my team. You talk to me. We're on equal footing. It didn't used to be that way, where there was a hierarchy. Now that hierarchy is sort of turned on its head. Yes, Eden.
But even with that all being said, I don't necessarily know that it's a bad thing that, say, NFL coaches or even college coaches just have to be a little more aware of their behavior and how they communicate to people. I mean, sometimes when you see coaches and the way they talk to people, it's like, dude, why are you screaming like that?
Oh, sure.
Shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're acting like a moron. You're humiliating yourself all in the name of some weird brand of toughness. Like, there's better ways to speak to people. There's better ways to communicate. Now, I mean, I never played football, but I know I would be like, man, what the hell is this dude barking in my face for?
I never understood that coaches always say, have composure. But they don't have composure when they're yelling at you to have composure.
That's my son has had a coach before. He plays soccer, youth soccer, so it's really not a big deal. And it's my favorite thing in the world to watch him on the sideline going, calm down! Calm down! Relax! Like, dude, how can anyone possibly stay relaxed while doing that?
All I know is if I yelled at my kids, I didn't get the message through as well as if I spoke to my kids in a certain voice. Then it resonated. If a coach would yell at me and I'd be like, all right, la-da-da-da-da-da, I'm going to tune that out. But if a coach got in your face and just said, hey, here's the deal. You know what? You want to play? You got to do it my way. But instead, if he yelled, Golden Boy, and I'd be like, all right, whatever. I'll go sit down. All right. Well, are you done? Are you done, Coach? Okay. All righty. Yes, Marvin.
Yeah, my high school coach was nothing like that. He was not a yeller and screamer, but he always had, insults, but they would be really funny. And he'd go, Marvin, what play was that? Pay attention. This isn't school. Pay attention. Or I'm hiding behind somebody. You playing hide and go seek, MFer? Come on.
Okay.
But that's how loud he would get. Like, you playing hide and go seek? Like, it would just be stuff really funny, but never yelling scream.
Okay.
For what? Like, yelling scream for what? He's like, I got kids.
Yeah, Paul.
Do you think there's different types of yelling coaches? I've seen a few NFL practices in person, and I wonder if a lot of the yelling is about intensity and rapid movement and getting people moving and getting the intensity and the urgency up during practice, less so about being demeaning and almost threatening. I don't see a lot of that. I wonder if Bieniemy's more about intensity than.
I'm sure he's in your face. He's telling these guys, hey, finish. Come on, let's go. They're not used to this. Whatever they had before, they're not used to it. Or if you're coming in as a rookie, you're not used to this. Eric Bieniemy was brought in. This is how he coaches, or this is how he thinks he needs to coach. He's trying to get a pulse here. He's got your attention. Let's go. Got a long season. We got a lot of work. We got to deal with the Eagles and the Cowboys and the Giants. I don't have a problem with it, unless there's something where, you're grabbing the face mask of, your players, or, berating them in a way. I mean, that's old school. That doesn't happen anymore. But I think that these guys, it was an eye-opener. It's like, man, why is he yelling at us? Yeah, Mark.
A couple of these guys went to Ohio State and Alabama. Like Brian Robinson Jr. went to Alabama. He played for Saban. He's not used to this?
Yeah, I would think you'd be used to that with Saban, with his practices. But I don't even know if he's yelling as much as, he's like Belichick. He gets his message across. I saw Coach K practice, and he was whoa. 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 He threw a water bottle that went under the stands, that there wasn't enough room for the water bottle to go under the stands, but it went under the stands. I don't know how it happened. It was like, man, he is mad. And you could see those Duke players, they're like, their heads are like, all right, man. All right. And his teams were playing for national championships. They weren't the Commanders.